Hello, everybody. Oh, yeah. You're after lunch, a little tired. It would be good to jump a little, but we don't have space here. And I see a lot of faces here. Don't you like, guys, Dart? Okay, I won't talk anything about Dart, and to be sure, because there's a lot of people, maybe somebody want to hear something else and misinterpret my title. So I will be basically talking about sharing code between front-end and back-end in node.js. If you don't like it, you can leave. I will be happy if you will stay. So let me introduce myself. My name is Aleksander Dąbrowski. I have some Twitter account. I have some blog. It has Ruby in name, but recently I write a lot about node.js, and I'm interested in this stuff. And I work in connectmedica. This is a Warsaw company. We're hiring. Everybody is hiring, but we also do. And this is what I do. Oh. This is Ruby. This is Ruby Rubocari or something. She's famous because she had some affair with this guy. They did something called Bunga Bunga, and there is no newspaper who wants to describe what Bunga Bunga is, so I don't know. And because of that, when you type Ruby into the Google, you see a lot of pictures of her, which is misleading. And I'm basically Ruby developer here for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I love this language. And today, here I am at a JavaScript conference. So I feel a little bit like an alien, a strange guy. But I like JavaScript, and please don't eat me alive, because JavaScript is not my native language. And yeah, by the way, I have a question. Who here writes JavaScript? Okay, and who writes JavaScript as a main language? Oh, quite a few people. So I'm Ruby developer, I'm backend developer, and for me, creating backend, also, of course, I write some front-end stuff, some CSS, some JavaScripts, and so on. But mostly I'm on the back. And writing things in the backend, for me, it's not boring, but there is nothing new here. It's like American suburban. You know everybody. You don't expect any special things. There is simple, boring life unless you live in a Desperate Housewives neighborhood. And for me, front end is something like Wild West. There's a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to do, to master, and it's maybe not even Wild West. It's Western. So when I build front-end app, I have very good backend, okay, but my front-end most of the times is not so nice. It's spaghetti code, and it's not full application like this, full houses. It has just facades. So after the doors, you enter the door, and there is nothing. So I want to change it, and I'm changing it. I try to create a richer application with some logic, and then you have this problem, because when you create application in a backend on a server, you basically have everything. And if you want to provide rich experience to user, you have to rewrite a lot of things. And that's this is called just duplication. This is called just duplication. And we are smart developers, and we don't want to duplicate our code because it's boring, it has a lot of wrong stuff. You know why. Only if you are paid by hours, then you can write not dry code, if you have a lot of painkillers. And finding the solution to have the same code on a front end and in a back end, for me was something like holy grail. And then it came, wow, node.js. You can write your server in JavaScript. That's awesome. And the first thing when you read an article about node.js, you hear that you can use the same language, you can use the same code in both sides. So this is first thing you want to do, to use the same code. So I can create simple node.js application using Express because we don't have so many time and we don't have so many space to show code, normal node.js code. Express.js is a node framework, very simple and very straightforward. We require Express file, we create server, we define some root, which respond nothing as far, and we start the server on some port. There's no big deal here. And because there's no big deal, we want to do something with it. We want to add some models. Let's say it will be up about task management, right? The simplest example. So we can create object task, which has two functions. For example, create and validate, and if validation is good, then let's create an object. And in the last line, we export this module to our Node.js app. And validation is something we would like to also have on a client side, not to bother the server, to show client upfront some errors. And it would be very nice if we could use this code on a client side. So we have our application. Let's say it works. It works, by the way. I checked it. And basically, this is what we want to do. This is our job, to put this model into the index. And we can do it. That's no big deal. In Express.js, we can just write this function, load this file, send this file to the server, and it works. Yeah, but this code, for me, looks like something this. It's ugly, broke, and sober. And because we are good developers, or at least want to be, we can use some Express.js function. We can create this static root. So everything what will be asked under scripts model tasks will get correct files automatically. All other models will be also loaded. And it's not whole the story, because at the bottom of our task, we had this line with module. And our browser doesn't know what module is. But that's not a problem. We are smart. We know about exceptions. And now we don't have any. Yeah, that's very good code. And this is working. Yeah. And because it's late and today is a party, we want to go to drink beer. And can we go to beer now? Nope. Because this, by the way, this hack is ugly, right? And the other thing is that this module line is server specific. We don't want to get this line on a client because it's unnecessary. So this line, last line, that's a problem because Node.js by default uses module require patterns. So when you want to split your application to lots of files, you just export these modules, and it works. But it doesn't work for us. So basically, the problem here is loading files. And whole this presentation is about loading files, because we want to load files from server and from client, and if we can do this, that's good. So there's a lot of libraries which helps loading files, and the require.js is one of them. It's one of the biggest, and it works on the client side and on the server side. So it's perfect for us. So we can use it. We can require JS. We can use some config to make require.js require node-specific stuff. We can, in slightly different way, require our task. So we load this file, assign returned task, and also we have to change our model, but it's tiny change, so it's simple. And as you can see in the last line, we don't have the last line, so we're happy. And what we have to do now is to use this mechanism on a client, because on the server, on the backend, it will work. It works. On the client, we want to first load require.js file. After that, load our main JS application, which will load our models using require library. And in browser, it will look like this. And the good thing, these 3 lines of code looks the same at the server and the browser. So we can basically use the same code on the server and on the browser. And also, we can require this code in the same way. Of course, we have to define some scripts. Not define. We have to show browser require.js script, but that's not a big deal. And can we go to beer now? Nope. Yeah. There's a sticker for you. Because there is one problem. We might show internals of our application. Some things we don't want to share about. Maybe our boss told us not to expose our code to users, and it's also danger, right? We don't tell strangers which version of Apache or Nginx we use, and the worst thing is showing strangers our internal code. Okay. So it's dangerous. It's maybe not as dangerous as walking in a park, in the dark, alone, and meet some football players which dislike your team, and you have your scarf on your shirt, and on the opposite side there is a tiger. It's maybe not that dangerous, but still, you don't want to do this. So you just to remember one thing from this talk, okay, you can share your code, but you have to give to server what belongs to server, and to client what is clients. That's probably written somewhere in Bible, so I think you know that. So you have two files, server and client. So basically, you split your task into client task and to server task. And loading, and then you can show only client task to the client, and server tasks are hidden. And in the browser, everything looks the same. So it works. In the server, client task works the same. And let's say we create some server task which handles some database, maybe some, I don't know, some security issues, maybe some logic which is not needed on a client. And let's call it server task. And we can load it, right? But we have problem. We have client task and normal task. And basically, it should be the same object. And of course, it should be the same object. A client task is prototype of normal task. So this way, on a client, we will see only client methods and logic. And on the server, we have whole logic. So it works. And we have very little minutes, but we can't go to beer now. Because the funny things about server and client are little differences. So this is 8080 very, very high building in New York. It has half height of Eiffel Tower. And 8080 stores their servers and some telecommunication machines, I don't know. And this window, this building doesn't have any windows. And our, yeah, really, it is in center on node.js. Probably Linux is inside, Intel inside, yeah. And no window. And Node.js server also doesn't have window. Remember about it. You can't use window object. It is only on a browser. And from the other side, the client can't do anything, all the stuff, this picture. No, client only can do a little amount of stuff. So you cannot trust client, because bad people, they are out there, and they want to mess your code, they want to ruin your Friday, and you always have to validate code with data which comes from client. So don't trust client, and always use your seatbelts. So be secure. You have to remember about safety here, because it's not so hard. But if you fuck up it might be risky. So to summarize, we have 4 things. The first is you can do it and it works. If you ask me, I can show you this application on GitHub or somewhere. And it's basically all about loading. And you have to remember not to show everything. You know why? Because it's dangerous. And remember about these little differences. And remember, give to server what belongs to server, and client what is clients. So, can we go to beer now? Yes. No, there are other presentations. Let's wait. I have some materials. Yeah, this is images, right? This presentation is already online on Heroku. It's Rails application. It works. You can see this, and that's all. Thank you very much.